Hello, my name is Kirioth, and this is the smallest, most ridiculous, random update to the Emperor's Children project that is currently going on over here, and I'm currently surrounded by, painting in progress Terminators and base-coated Chosen and all kinds of stuff, but there'll be a full, proper update once the Terminators have been completed in terms of paint. But for now, this is just a random thing that happened yesterday that I thought I'd show you guys. I thought I'd show you some of the kind of in-progress stuff and then the kind of completed model. I mean, the guy sitting on this comes off, as would be sensible for painting it. But yeah, this is just a random attempt at making a Doomrider style just guy on bike, which came entirely by accident. It was just, I was working on my kill team, which again I should make a video for those as well, and I the little skulls that you get from the skull kit that Games Workshop sells. I used one of those in one of the Cawdor gang bodies, and it looked pretty cool. I quite liked it. I was like, oh, that looks good. And someone said, oh, you should do that to a Genestealer cult bike. Make Ghost Rider. And I said, well, I don't have a Genestealer cult bike, but I do have a 30k Jetbike. In fact, I've got two. So I could try it with that. I went into this conversion with absolutely no forward planning whatsoever. Literally all I did was think, I've got a bike, I've got a bunch of skulls, and I'm sure I'll have some sort of thing that could fit on the bike. There's got to be some sort of fancy stuff I've got that could fit on it, maybe. Let's have a look through the bits box and see what happens. And the result is this, admittedly very silly, but still, I think, kind of fun, kind of neat, very daft. I don't even know what this would even count as, if I'm totally honest with you. But essentially, it is a newer reincarnation, a newer imagining of either Doomrider or Ghost Rider or whatever on a 30k jet bike. So the parts that are used for this are all over the shop. There's like a bajillion different things on here. This is all stuff that I just had lying around. As I said, I didn't go into this with any particular plan. It was just someone said, hey, try this, and I went, I can't, but I can do something that's way more expensive, sure. So the 30k jet bike is pretty much just what it is. I haven't really done that much in terms of changing the layout of it or the setup of it or anything like that. It's just as it comes. What's different about it is all these stuff that's stuck all over it. So I had the ribcage breastplate from a Morghast left over. So that was one of the first things I stuck on because I realised that would kind of look interesting, of is it like the engine cowling or whatever on the top of the bike, and it seemed to fit on the handlebar guards really, really well. Somehow, miraculously, it fit on there quite well. So that was one of the first things I stuck on because I was like, well, that's if I can do nothing else to distinguish this from the other stuff, then that'll do. At least it's got that bone element to it. I managed to find the legs from a bike Space Marine, not the Jetbike Space Marine, not the one that comes with this. The legs on that are actually smaller than on the normal 40k bikes, and because it was smaller and it sat differently, I couldn't use any torso other than the one that came with the Jetbike, and I didn't want to use that one because it didn't have quite as much detail as I wanted. I wanted to use a plastic one. None of the plastic ones really fit on the bike properly unless you didn't have a backpack. But I wanted a backpack because the backpack is pretty, well, it's the look for Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines. So I stuck a backpack from the Dark Vengeance set on there. I had to grind away at it a bit to get it to fit actually in the bike. It's squished in there and you can't see because it's hidden by the seat of the bike, but I actually had to file away a huge amount of the detail just to get it to fit. But it looked better with the backpack kind of wedged than it did without one, so it doesn't matter because you can't see it, but the backpack has been severely mutilated just to fit down there. I did go a bit too far up when I was sanding it down, filing it down, not sanding it down. So there's a little bit of detail on the back of the bike that serves to make it look a little bit more fancy, and I'm debating put a little bit more armour on the back to keep it flowing a bit more. but also to hide the fact that the backpack was mangled quite a bit. But it's the only one of this type that I have, and I like the look of it a lot. I didn't want to change it out for something else because I thought it fit really well. The skull in the center is obviously just a Games Workshop skull. The arm that's holding onto the bike is the one that came with the Jetbike. The other arm is from the Aurus Custodes kit. As you can tell by the, not Guardian Spear, the massive axe, whatever that's called, I can't remember off the top of my head. There's also a claw from a Slaanesh Exalted Chariot sticking out the back because I fancied a little bit of extra detail. I didn't want a big banner like sticking out the top because I thought that would look a little bit off because I'd already put the whips, again, from the Exalted Chariot kit into the side. So I just took I think it's just a claw. It's just a demonette claw that I stuck in the back there, just to give it a bit of extra height, to make it stand out a little bit more, add a kind of demonic element to it. I'm thinking about maybe doing something a bit more with that, but I'm not sure. I don't want it to look overly cluttered, and I think it looks different enough as it is for the moment. There's obviously a Slaanesh symbol on one side and a Chaos symbol on the other side, which are attached to the kind of the hull of it. And I took the speaker from the Chaos vehicle sprue upgrade kit and stuck that underneath the heavy bolter. Just, I wanted that extra element of noisiness going on. There's, I think it's a wrist guard from the Storm Fiend kit. I think it's the Storm Fiends. And that was essentially just put there because I wanted to beef out the bottom a little bit. I think I'm going to leave it at that, but it just adds a little extra something to the bottom of the bike. It just makes it a bit bulkier. And the pennant is from the Demonette Silver Slaanesh kit, which I've attached to the bike, not to the guy. It's only attached in one place. It'll come off pretty easily, which I'm kind of happy with, actually. It's not pinned as such. It's just kind of like, there's like a little bit that I drilled out the bottom of the seat of the bike where the pennant wedges in. So when it comes time to glue it, it can be glued, but for now it can be removed. I think one of the shoulder pads is from just the Chaos Space Marine kit. The other shoulder pad is from the vehicle sprue kit for the Chaos stuff as well. Yeah, this was a totally random thing. It was just absolutely one of those things where someone just made like a random suggestion, and I was like, well, I can't do that. But I have got this 30k kit lying around I could just slap stuff onto and see what happens. To be honest, given that I went in without any planning, outside of stick a skull in a marine on a jet bike, I'm really happy with how it's turned out. It's very over the top. It definitely does have, someone said that it does have a bit of a flying catfish thing going to it, which I totally agree with, but I quite like. And it's, I think, suitably Slaanesh. It is, after all, a jet bike equipped with whips and a speaker carrying a guy with a skull for a head. So that's pretty Slaanesh, let's be honest. As I say, for the moment, I think it's finished. If I think of anything else to do to it, then I might do, but I think it is different enough from the 30k stuff right now, and it's different enough from looking like a loyalist bike, but it's not totally over-cluttered. It's not like covered in spikes or anything, which I did think about, and I'm toying with the idea of maybe drilling some spikes into either the very back of the bike or the very front. I'm not really sure which. I'm just kind of mulling it over as to whether I want to add anything else. But yeah, that is my impromptu Ghost Rider / Doomrider silly jet bike of Slaanesh, and it's technically the newest model for the Emperor's Children army. Again, I don't know what role it will fulfill at all. If anyone's got any ideas, I mean, could maybe serve as a lord with jump pack, or maybe a lord on bike, but then it is a flyer as opposed to... Not that it really matters. I mean, let's face it, half of my army, if you're not prepared to accept counts as, I can't play you, because I've not given loadout any thought whatsoever. I've just picked the stuff that looks fucking cool. And this model embodies that like nothing else in the army, frankly. But yeah, that is my sort of Doomrider / Ghost Rider conversion. I'm quite happy with it. I'm dreading painting it. It's going to be a right nightmare, and I don't know how I'm going to actually paint it suitably well for the model it is, but we'll see. It'll be fun, at least. So yeah, small update. Daft Kit Bash came out of nowhere. distracted me from finishing my kill team, which was obviously quite bad. I should have finished that project, especially since I've only got 3 guys left to do. I was within sight of the finish line, then someone was like, make Ghost Rider, and I went, yeah, sure, why not? So probably should go away and finish those, so I can also make a video showing what those look like as well, because I'm quite happy with them too. So yeah, that is how I've made Doomrider / Ghost Rider / just random skull-headed guy on expensive Jetbike. Let me know what you think of this thing in the comments down below, if you can think of any other improvements to put on it. The skull being on fire, that would be an improvement. I don't have the green stuff skill to do that. Luckily, an excellent person on Twitter, part of the Warmongers community, is working on something for that. So I might be able to replace the skull with a flaming skull, which would be badass. So with any luck, that might happen. So that's the one suggestion that's already been taken care of. If you've got any others, then by all means, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click all the stuff, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that shit. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to, and I will see you for the next one. Toodaloo.